It is Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Kicking Out podcast. I'm Paul Zartman, joined by my co-host this week, as always, every week, Austin Shepard. Welcome, Shep. How you doing tonight?
Good. I'm glad to be back this week. I missed last week. We had a little wedding I had to attend to out west. Just,
It happens. It happens.
It happens.
I only have one to attend still, so that's down the road. But
yeah, I got that in the mail today too.
Oh yeah. You're a slacker. I got mine yesterday.
Yeah, well, maybe I didn't pay attention.
Or Monday, I don't know, but yeah, I got it. Either way,
I'm thinking about going. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just the save the date, so you still got time to decide whether to go or not. I think it'll all depend on what happens at Revolution.
That's a good point.
All right. You ready to get into Dynamite so we can get started on our predictions?
Wait a minute.
Wait. Oh, I forgot because it didn't happen last week. What are we drinking tonight, Shep?
It didn't. So the Casa Azul is back ordered. They cannot ship it to me. And I was just like, I've had the same tequila for like the last 3 shows. And I know a lot of tequila snobs out there, and I'm not a tequila snob because I don't know shit about tequila. So I broke down and I bought a bottle of this.
Okay.
And guess who endorses this tequila or says it's his tequila?
Dax Harwood?
No. If you look at this signature, that is Dwayne Johnson. He's kind of famous, isn't he?
I've heard of him once or twice.
Yeah, so
I think he dressed up in a pink tutu once.
Yeah, well, hold on here. Oh, there, I like that sound.
Nice pop.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the Reposado. It's all Dax always talks about all the natural stuff. This is gluten free and all that stuff that I don't understand. 100% agave. We're gonna pour a little out there. Again, I'm trying to learn to drink.
You're not supposed to do that.
And I'm trying to learn to drink tequila. I'm a vodka guy, but
yeah.
I know I got my. Look at that. There we go. How about that?
Hey, FTR.
Yeah, I got my camera. There we go. So we're gonna try this. Tremana, small batch of tequila reposado from the one and only, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Let's try it.
As he takes his drink. What are we thinking here?
Tastes like tequila.
Is that a good taste like tequila? A bad taste like tequila? What are we rating this thing?
I don't know, man. Let's try this again. So it's not your rock gut tequila for sure.
Okay.
Really smooth actually towards the end.
All right.
At first, it's a little harsh, I feel like. And I'm not going to get into the flavors. It says it's going to be, I don't know. I read it earlier. It has some flavor, caramel and all that BS. But at first, it's a little harsh. But once you drink it, it's pretty damn smooth. Warms you up a little bit. Yeah. So Tremana, there it is again. Dwayne, The Rock Johnson's. Again, I know it's the tequila snobs like harp on him a little bit, but I'm new to the tequila game, so that's gonna get a 6.2. 6.2.
All right.
There you go. We're gonna finish this, and then we got the old backup here later on tonight.
Yes, you do. All right. Now, are you ready to get into some Dynamite?
Let's do it.
All right. We kick the show off with the All-Atlantic Championship match. Champion Orange Cassidy defending against Big Bill with Stokely Hathaway. Hey, I didn't. I said it the proper way, just for you tonight.
Yeah, you did. You sure did.
The match starts off with Orange Cassidy kind of rolling around to get away from Big Bill as we expected him to. Towards the end of the match, we get back inside the ring. Big Bill goes for a move, but it gets blocked, and Orange Cassidy hits Stun Dog Millionaire, then a DDT and an Orange Punch. Cassidy lands a second Orange Punch, and he nails a third from the top rope to retain.
Look, I've become an Orange Cassidy fan of late. I think Morrissey, I'm gonna call him Morrissey because that's his freaking name. I think he has a spot in AEW. I think he has a spot where he could thrive. But they made him look like a monster in this match, which I think is great. But when did in a normal title match, when you put your opponent through a table, is not a DQ?
Right.
Okay.
I wondered that, but that seems to happen a lot in AEW.
It does. I mean, Rick Knox might as well have been officiating, was he?
No,
it was the other guy.
No, it was the bald guy.
Yeah, Crew. That's Knox.
The other bald guy.
Oh.
Maybe.
Anyways,
I don't know.
I thought like,
from tonight.
You slam your guy through a table. That's a DQ in a title match. Yeah, I could go like at the end of this match. I'm like, man, is this how Dynamite's going to go? It was just okay. Yeah.
Nothing special about it.
Special about it. I mean, I know Orange is going to go over. He took a beating, which I think you have to do with Morrissey size. So yeah, I think they did it okay for them. It just wasn't a fan of it. It was okay.
Yeah.
I thought the most entertaining part was Danhausen trying to curse everybody. Again.
Leave it to good old Danhausen.
Yeah, leave it to Danhausen. But
I'm trying to scroll through Twitter real quick and see if I can find out who the ref was for that match, and I am not finding it. So I'm not going to tell you.
It was the guy with the black hair and the crew cut.
Yeah. This is one I didn't pay too much attention to the ref for. So, yeah, crew cut guy. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. All right. Yada, yada. Find where I was. Next, we go backstage. We see Moxley after last week's match, and he says his blood tastes like victory in life. He claims he lives for this, and you don't want to go down a dark alley with him as only one comes out. And he reminds Adam Page that he wanted this. He says this time he will leave no doubt, as Page is a great wrestler and man, but he's not the same animal as him.
One of the better promos from Mox. And I don't know if it was because of the blood just dripping on the floor, which the cameraman was so smartly
drop down on so you can see it. Yep.
Yeah. And it just kept dripping and dripping. And you look towards the end of the promo, his camera left, his right, I think, right?
The bloodied upside?
Yeah. His right eye was just completely caked. He couldn't open it. And he just kept going and going and going. And it's just like, okay. That we haven't seen that out of Mox in a while, and I liked it. I loved it.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely felt this promo. You could tell that there's a lot on the line with this promo. If you tuned in tonight to Dynamite for the first time, you could tell that there was heat between Page and Moxley.
Yeah. No, one of the better feuds that has built up. I mean, we're going on what? 3 months on this one? With the injuries, the concussions.
Yeah, thereabouts.
3-4 months. Yeah. Again, you know what? Love me some TK, but man, if you could continue to build storylines this long in advance, yeah, it's going to pay off at pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm more pumped for. I'm more pumped for this match, even though it's a death match and you're going to get some gimmick stuff in it, right?
Yep.
I'm sure you're gonna get
Insert
barbed
city name
wire.
death match.
You're gonna get some tacks. You're gonna get all that stuff. But I, I'm more excited for this match than almost the main event. And they've done
Yeah.
a darn good job building up to the main event. You know, we built the main event up here a month and a half. 2 months. So
Yep. Up next, we see the Elite start to make their entrance, but before they can really do anything, the lights go out. House of Black flash up behind them. Lights go out again, come back on again. The champions are down as Malachi Black and the House of Black stand with the titles.
kind of saw this one coming, didn't you?
At the moment I heard Wayward Son hit, I went, yep.
Yeah. Short build up to this feud, which makes me you'll probably see that later in my confidence picks, but I mean I want to see it. Just I don't know, maybe a little more interaction than what we've seen, but
Well, you talk about building this. Honestly, they started building this feud during the best of 7 in Indy when the House of Black attacked everybody, dropped Brandon, and Malachi walked over to Brandon and told him, this isn't anything personal. This is about the company you keep, and made it very clear that they were calling out the Elite.
yeah, a little bit.
It's just, again, they did that and then really nothing for a couple weeks, and then they win the titles, and then the House of Black comes back in with subtle hints at things, and then they finally make their intentions known.
Yeah, I feel like we spent 2 weeks with the Elite with AR Fox and Top Flight,
Yes.
and that didn't need a second week. I thought the first week probably would have been sufficient. So yeah, we maybe wasted a week building up, but I'm excited to see the match. Just would like a little bit more build.
Mm-hmm. Up next is a match that I didn't see was paper or advertised for tonight, because this is normally how you kick off the pay-per-view, and that was the Face of the Revolution ladder match.
That thing was stupid.
Yeah. I could try to keep up with what's going on in the notes, or I can tell you Powerhouse Hobbs gets the big gold ring.
I loved the Powerhouse Hobbs and Takeshna just trying to overpower each other. Takeshna's a big Japanese male, okay?
Yes, he is.
And I mean, he is solid. Now, he's not as big as Hobbs, but he's pretty darn big. So I love that they went with the clothesline face off, I guess you call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which outside the ring, they had one more that they hit the hell out of each other. And then Hobbs hammering the ladder when Takeshita was, and he bent the thing. And it's bad when you had to have 3 officials recognize it. They run into the ring to stabilize it.
And of course, we put Knox under the ladder, so if it collapsed down, it's just going to fall on Knox. It's okay.
It's just Knox. It's okay.
It's just Knox.
Yeah. We're saving Aubrey. We don't want to hurt Aubrey. I like
exactly.
Aubrey.
And we saw the debut in this match of Commander, or the AEW debut of Commander, and that dude is crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
The way he walks the ropes, the way he floats in the air. Yeah, I'd like to see a little more of him. I know he's in CMLL, AAA, which he fits right in with those guys. So see him to come over and have a mainstream match. I enjoy that. Sammy Guevara, and I tell you what, I know we talked how I dislike him, but man, does he get the heat. Every time he started doing something, he got booed. So, again, he's doing his job. He's doing it well.
Yes.
And then doing this swanton on Andretti from the high ladder, the tall one.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a short ladder, not the ring, not the top rope,
So,
the tall ladder.
and it was pretty close. Like if you look at it, man, they set up a little close, and he had to tuck that in pretty tight.
Yeah.
And he did it, and he landed it perfectly. So,
man,
good for Guevara. Again, got huge heat from the crowd. So obviously he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. That was entertaining. Hobbs and Takeshita were entertaining. Commander was entertaining.
And can we talk about how the crowd is behind Takeshita now?
Yeah, they're starting to.
Everybody kind of dogged on him after his wholehearted tribute to Eddie and how he shouldn't do it because he's Japanese, and it kind of made the fans get behind him, it seems.
Well, there was one guy that came out and well, I saw one that was Conan, was not a fan of his tribute, which Conan I feel like is with all of his health issues, I don't know if he's in the right mind, but
yeah. I think the other one was Kingston. I think Kingston was a little upset about it too. Not as much as Conan. But
Conan was pretty vocal. Kingston, and again, I'm a fan of Kingston just because I love his realness. They made a comment, or he made a comment. He didn't know why he was booked tonight because he's ruffled some feathers, which makes sense after the way the match started tonight. Him and Ortiz just battled to the back, and they were done.
Yep.
You never saw him again. They made a comment that they were separated. Took 10 guys to separate him or whatever, and then he was done. So, I don't know. Sounds like he's ruffled some feathers, which doesn't shock me because it's Kingston. I feel like he lets his professional life trump his real life, meaning on a day-to-day basis, he's Eddie Kingston. It reminds me a lot of Ric Flair.
Yes.
Okay? I'm Ric Flair every day. I don't know who the hell Richard Fleer is. I'm Ric Flair. So Eddie Kingston, he walks around as Eddie Kingston. This is 100% wrestling.
Legit. Yep.
Yeah. So
what is this kayfabe you talk about? This is my real life.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to spell kayfabe, so
no.
And that's not a educational joke towards Eddie Kingston.
No, that's just how much he believes in his character.
Correct.
After the match, Hobbs stares down Samoa Joe until Wardlow comes out, and he takes out all the security as Joe scurries away. I liked Hobbs's "I've got time" comment as all this is going on. He's just like, I'm not going to go up there and try to attack either one of them.
No, he's sitting in a chair, holding his brass ring, and watching Hobbs powerbomb security guys through security guys. I thought was great. I know it's his hometown crowd. They were behind Hobbs, and I liked it. I liked Hobbs, and there was a time where I wasn't a big fan of Hobbs. Not a big fan. Just not. He's not one of my favorites, but
it was Team Taz Hobbs.
Yeah, I thought tonight played really well for Hobbs. And nothing against Warlord. I'd rather see Hobbs versus Joe, I think, than Hobbs versus Warlow.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think Joe could put on a better match, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Up next, it's revealed that Trent and Chuck aren't medically cleared for the Battle Royal later tonight, but Danhausen says he and Orange Cassidy can be, despite the fact that Cassidy is being medically checked. He says, I don't care.
With a bunch of tape on his ribs.
Yeah, and an ice pack.
Yeah. Good segment. Chucky and old Trent. And I love those guys back in ROH days. I'm okay with them now. Just I'm not looking forward to seeing them on TV. But for freaking some reason, Danhausen just makes me laugh. When he comes on screen, if you don't smile or smirk, you know what I mean? It's just like, and then he just basically says, "Hey, we're gonna do it," and Cash is like, "I don't care, whatever." So I think that it was a good segment because Trenton Chuck didn't say much.
Yeah, they just sit
So
there.
yeah, they stood there. So let Danhausen do the talk. They taped up old Orange and let him roll. So yeah,
Yep.
okay segment.
Yeah. Up next, Chris Jericho versus Pretty Peter Avalon, and Peter got a haircut. It actually looks good on him. It's better than that long hair, whatever crap he had going on as the librarian.
That was the dumbest thing ever. That was the dumbest thing AEW's ever done.
I am glad we've got the Pretty Peter Avalon back. That's what he signed up as, and then he got thrown in as the librarian because they didn't have anything for Pretty Peter.
This match was okay because Peter got his stuff in, and I know
Yeah.
that's always a joke about indie guys. Like I gotta get my stuff in, but man, I thought Jericho looked his physique looked, and I'm the last person to judge somebody on their physique, okay? But all of a sudden, I think Jericho looks flabby again.
He does. He does. He reminds me more of the List Jericho.
Yeah,
Not in shape, but not out of shape.
yeah, like he got into shape here about 6 months ago, and looked great. But I don't
Yeah.
know the way this match went. Looked like Avalon was just dominating, and then Jericho squeaks out the win. If you're not trying to bury Peter Avalon, which I don't know what they're going to do with this guy, it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then they beat him with the bat afterwards, and
then Starks comes down, and well, the numbers game gets him, and Starks is left laying in the middle of the ring.
yep,
Yeah.
and that stupid purple hat.
I like this hat.
Well, got the chant.
I was trying to channel my inner swagger. I don't think it came out.
Got the
I like this hat.
I thought it would got the "F hat," "F your hat" chant, didn't it?
I could not figure out what they were saying, but it was
I thought
something
they were
about the hat.
saying. I thought they were saying "F your hat." So if they weren't, I'm glad I used the letter F, and that way we won't have a bad rating going into tonight.
Clicky. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still early. I could drop one here in a little bit, but it's
I mean, we're only 23 and a half minutes in.
it's early.
Up next, a video is shown of Adam Page as he tells Moxley he can't take his friends from him, his memory, and this Sunday he will take everything away from Moxley. He takes away his spot at the top of the food chain. He admits he's not the same animal as he hates violence, but this Sunday he will be the most bloodthirsty son of a bitch he has to be.
I didn't like this promo. I thought it was too
It was
scripted.
a strange Page promo, and it didn't really do anything for him.
It didn't jive. It didn't. I felt like it was almost he read it off of a cue card,
Yes,
teleprompter, whatever you want to call it.
a little bit of both.
I didn't care for it.
Speaking of teleprompter, I brought this up last week in the podcast. I don't know how closely you watched Dynamite last week.
It was in and out. My hotel lost power in the middle of the night. It was kind of creepy, but
Were you locked in your room?
it was weird.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
The promos were in closed captioning in the arena last week on Dynamite. In each corner, they had black screens. And about 5 seconds after, I really noticed it during the Starks Jericho segment. Starks would say something, about 5 seconds later, I'd see it pop up on this screen. And they kept trying to do their best to get the camera away from it. But you caught it every time it popped up. It's really weird.
That's different. Different.
Yeah. I've never been in an arena that had closed captioning before. But now we know where we need to go if we want that.
There you go.
Up next, Renee Paquette is back on TV. Soon it's going to be AEW Renee Paquette on Wednesday nights. Anyway, she's inside the ring as she welcomes out Christian Cage. He says he can't wait to not come back to San Francisco for another 10 years. Cage says he embarrassed Jungle Boy and he was done with him until he turns on Dynamite and heard him say he was going to win a singles championship this year. Cage says over his dead body because he is going to win a singles title himself this year. He has been watching Jack Perry's matches. He's been winning with a roll up, and that's fine. But you want to do that, But do you want to do that or beat someone down? He already knows the answer is Jack Perry had him dead to rights, but he hesitated and he turned it around and showed how a real man handles business when he left him in a pool of his own blood and piss. He says Jungle Boy has no interest in the legacy of a championship. He just wants to take it home and show his family and make some memes. His problem with him and his generation is that they treat this business like a video game. Cage says nobody can do things he can do in the ring. He is one of one. He treats the business like an ATM machine, and he's not milking it dry. Or he's not done milking it dry. But this needs to end, and he challenges Jack Perry to a fight this Sunday with no rules or regulations, just a straight fight. If Jack Perry shows up, he will show he's like his father, and he is a Hollywood hack. He claims that Jack Perry doesn't have an ounce of what he does inside. And at that moment, the lights go out, and we see Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, digging a hole, and it is eventually revealed to be Christian's grave. I don't know. The Christian thing seemed too drawn out. The promo from Jack, it took too long to fire. The lights went out and it's like nobody knew what was going on. It's like somebody forgot to hit the button. And even right before the lights go out, if you watch closely, Renee's looking around waiting for the lights to go out. Like they should have already gone out and they haven't yet.
So at some point in time, and you got to refresh my memory, you might be better at this than I. At some point in time, Cage has commented on Jungle Boy Perry's father's death, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I thought when we went away and saw Jungle Boy digging this grave, and then there was a headstone of Christian Cage, would have been I almost thought like put his dad's headstone right next to it. Like
that's what I kept waiting for. Is like we're gonna zoom out and there you see.
Yeah, Luke. we're gonna get a little personal here because you've already brought my dad up before.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am digging this grave for you, and already have a headstone that says Christian Cage. Put it right next to
my dad. So when you lose, he can laugh at you forever.
Which his dad was Luke. Is it Luke Perry? Right,
Luke Perry. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, put it right next to him. Yeah, like you said. And he can heckle you for the rest of your life. Man, yeah. I almost kind of thought like that. I'm like, but then maybe that might be a little too risque for, that might be a little bit attitude era-ish, which you and I grew up in. So
yeah. What I was kind of hoping for was this was the moment we would see him bury the Jungle Boy gimmick. Because Cage called him Jungle Boy a couple times throughout it. And then the longer it went on, he went Jack Perry. Then he went back to Jungle Jack. And I was hoping we'd see him digging this grave, dropping the Jungle Boy gear in it, dropping the Tarzan Boy song in it or something, as to say Jungle Boy is dead, Jack Perry is here. I'm still waiting for that. And I thought tonight would have been that perfect opportunity. Like Jungle Boy hesitated, Jack Perry won't.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. Make a good point.
I don't hold the pencil, just the pen.
Maybe he'll do that after the match.
Maybe.
At Revolution.
Maybe that's when he hits him with the concerto, doesn't hesitate, and then picks up the microphone and says, Jungle Boy would have hesitated. Jack Perry won't.
If he does that the following week on Dynamite, he's got to show up with short hair and different gear.
I'm okay with maybe not going super short, shoulder length, maybe. But yeah, he's got to drop the gear.
Mohawk and new gear. Get rid of the curls. You know what I mean?
But that's honestly what sets him apart from Luke. If you look at a picture of Luke and him, the only difference is the curly hair, which he gets from his mom.
Well, Luke never had a mohawk in 90210.
All right. I don't think he ever had a mohawk ever. Probably didn't have one growing up either.
Exactly.
I didn't.
I've never had one.
Next we go backstage to Tony Schiavone, who is with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. Hayter says she doesn't know what is sweeter, beating one bitch or two this Sunday. Britt Baker then says Saraya can look, but she can't touch, as she will never have the belt. Referencing tonight's two former women's champions match.
If I could fast forward Dynamite tonight, it'd be this segment and the women's match.
It was not a needed segment. It
No.
did nothing for Hayter. Again, and if you're going to have somebody interview Hayter, do somebody other than Schiavone, because Schiavone draws out the whole Britt Baker thing every single time.
They love each other.
I'm backstage with Britt Baker, DMD, and women's champion Jamie Hayter. Shouldn't you say with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker? Talk about your champion first.
Yeah. And I love Schiavone. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't like, I don't like his connection with Britt, and he puts her over any chance he gets.
I didn't like it when he did it first.
Speaking of commentary, and this is my first rabbit hole tonight.
Yeah, 33 minutes in.
Yes, when the show kicked off and the camera was zooming around the crowd, did you not see the young guy in the front row had a mask on with a headset, just mocking Jackalope? Did you see that?
Yes. I think it was the only time of the night he was shown too.
Yeah, they probably got him away. And whatever his name is.
Excalibur?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know why I couldn't think of it all of a sudden. But I was just like, oh my God, that's amazing. Somebody dressed up with a mask on and put a headset on, making fun of Excalibur. I loved it. That's my fan of the night. I know we don't do a fan of the night, but we're doing one tonight, and that's my fan of the night.
Well, it's better than the guy that the camera spun around to him and he just stood there, looked at it like, oh, right as they pulled away from him.
Yeah, well, he's camera shy.
But
not everybody is camera love like me when I made it to Dynamite when we were in Indy.
Yeah, Rampage,
sorry.
As you're standing there.
I had a couple cocktails, Yeah. Everybody's got to have a couple cocktails.
Mm-hmm. And then you made it to Warrior Wrestling's Twitter feed when you went to see them.
No cocktails there because they only sold beer, but I had a
Yeah.
couple really cold beers, and it was fun.
You need to start when you go to these shows knowing you're going to somehow end up getting your picture taken without your knowledge. You need to start wearing a Kicking Out podcast shirt.
I mean, you'd think old Tanner would give me one.
Go to kickingOutshop.com and get yourself one.
All right, I'll get one.
All right.
As long as they got big boy sizes, right?
We got big boy sizes.
Okay.
I need them myself. Don't worry. Up next was a match that, yeah, it was the FTW Championship match, Hook versus Matt Hardy. We got the Hardy Boys theme tonight, though.
Yeah, I thought that was odd.
Very unexpected.
Yeah, I thought it was odd, but played out well, right?
Yes. Throughout this match, it was surprisingly back and forth. Matt had some help from everybody in the firm. Stokely took off the cast and handed it to Ethan Page. Page hits Hook with it. Thought for sure that Matt Hardy was going to get the win off of that, but Hook held in, locked in the red rum, and Hardy started tapping before that thing was locked in.
Yeah, I thought this was one of Hook's better matches, and I love that they gave him probably 5 minutes here.
Yeah.
Which we don't get a lot of time on Hook's matches, and I thought
they're normally 2-minute squash matches.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. I thought Hook looked great. Hardy looked okay. Was thoroughly entertained by this one.
Page is all of a sudden like 100% Matt Hardy's biggest fan.
Yeah, but did you notice that once he tapped, he laughed? You notice that at the end there?
Yes.
Like he laughed that he tapped so quick. So
yeah, and I can't think of the private party guy who was down there. His name escapes me.
It's Isaiah, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isaiah or one was Isaiah and Cassidy? Is that right?
No, I think it's Isaiah Cassidy, and then I don't know, Quinn something or something like that. Tanner will correct us. We'll get a text tomorrow. It's this. Oh, okay, thanks. But notice he went to do Jeff's motions for the Hardy Boys entrance, and Paige cut him off. He wouldn't let him do it. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't see that much, but
all right. Yeah, that was interesting in my opinion. But anyway, somehow I missed when this happened. This had to have happened on Rampage or Dark because I missed Rampage Friday night. With Hook winning, that means Hook will now face Hathaway in a no DQ match where the firm is banned from ringside.
Which has got to be, I think it'd be fun, but you can't give these guys more than 2-3 minutes, right?
You give them 5 minutes max, 3 minutes of Hathaway just running away. Hathaway hits him with a couple of things. Hook locks in red rum and he instantly taps.
Yeah. Which is fine. Maybe Hathaway hits him with the cast and dazed him a little bit or whatever, but
yeah. Maybe Big Beal finds a way to come down.
Shut up. You're doing so good, Paul.
I was. Just like you're doing good. So let's see if you can hold out the rest of the show. Up next, House of Black shown backstage with the AEW World Trios Championships. Malachi Black says they'll leave the titles here, but this Sunday, the Elite should know they have already lost. I like how Brody King and Buddy Matthews each laid down the title they were holding, but Malachi handed it to, oh crap, her name just escaped my heart. Julia. Yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, Julia Hart, and let her lay it down. And she's like, we'll see you at Revolution.
Yeah. It's a good segment.
Yeah, it was.
It was short and sweet.
Which is what you needed.
Yes. Yeah, short and sweet. I mean, obviously we're going to get into our picks later, but yeah, I don't know. If you look at the trios champions as being the elite, all three of those guys, you wouldn't care who had the mic in their hand, correct?
Right. They all three can talk, and they all three have different angles and different things to say, and it all works well together.
The House of Black, who other than Alistair has talked?
They each have, but very shortly.
Yeah, it's been like one word little.
Yeah, a couple sentences here or there, a little poem haiku thing, and I don't know. I think, in my opinion, if you're going to put the belts on them, you need to have Malachi still continue to kind of be the mouthpiece, but Julia start to fill in more and more.
I called him Alistair, didn't I?
Yes, you did, but I just let it go.
I did, yeah. Okay, Malachi, sorry. I called him Alistair. Yeah.
It's
you
okay.
knew who I was talking about.
I did. He's one of the few people from that other company that I actually knew.
But yeah, I think there's two main matches on Revolution. Main event, the Texas Death Match, but there's a possibility of this trios match stealing the show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Brody King is a huge human being.
Yes.
But he is very, very athletic, and he is used to working the Bucks type matches because he did on the indie scene for many years. So
that's all the indies are is Buck style matches anymore.
Well, no, not really. I mean, come on.
I'm kidding.
I didn't know I was talking to Jim Cornette, but
I'll take it though.
I mean, dude's a legend. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think this has a possibility of stealing the show. And there's some good matches on this card. So
yeah. All right. Up next, the match that, like you said, can just be fast forwarded. Toni Storm versus Riho. I like Riho.
Sorry, that was my impersonation.
Well, that's how she says her name too, so it works perfectly. Riho picked up the victory here. I verdict's still out for me on Riho. I've been this way since she came in her first match. I was like, man, she's talented, but she's so little. She's like 65 pounds soaking wet with the belt on her.
It's hard for her to sell, especially against a person like Storm, who is built. I mean, Tony's got to be close to 6 foot tall. I would think, right?
Let's go ask Uncle Google.
Uncle Google was going to say she's 5'10", 5'11", but
probably.
TV,
but
she still looks 6 foot tall. She's built. She's got some mass and that's. I know we're talking about women's matches, but to say she has some mass to her, but she has some dump truck to her. Let's put it that way.
This says she's 5'6".
No.
Yeah.
Toni Storm is not 5'6". Then Rio's 4'4".
Yeah, Rio's under 5 foot.
I knew that, but Toni Storm's taller than 5'6".
Yeah, Riho is 5'1".
Yeah.
99 pounds, and I don't buy either one of those.
All right, I'm going with Toni Storm at 5'10" for sure. But there was a couple spots where Rio jumped off the top rope for a crossbody, and like Toni caught her, and there was almost a delay before Toni took the bump.
Reacted. Yep.
You know what I mean? And you can't blame Toni because Toni's never worked with somebody that size.
Right.
Tony came from the other company where nobody was really that size. They might have been a little smaller than Tony, but it was close.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I could fast forward through this match, till the end. We got Soraya involved, and then here comes Ruby. Ruby just laid out uh, Tony Storm,
Then turned around, hit Hater.
hit Hater. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I can still see a faction coming out of Revolution where you have the ex WWE girls, meaning Ruby, Soraya, and Tony coming together, versus Hater and DMD. So,
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ruby side with Storm and Soraya at Revolution.
yeah.
But we'll see what happens. We don't have the pencil.
No, and the guy that has a pencil is as crazy as a loon, so who knows?
Yeah. Up next we go backstage to Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes. Um, they say this Friday on Rampage they will show why they are naturally limitless and why people will remember their name. I actually kind of like this team.
I do, but who are they going to face?
I don't know. I thought we might have seen that, but
No. The reason I don't remember seeing it. So we're going to see who's the Brock wannabe that's there now?
mm-hmm,
Parker Boudreaux, right?
sure,
Yeah, and who's the tattooed ex baseball dude? What's
that
it?
guy.
Trench. So we're gonna see Trench and Parker Boudreaux versus Keith Lee and the Natural Dustin Rhodes. Is that what we're gonna see?
Probably.
And I'm okay with that. But the only reason I'm okay with that is because I think you got to have Keith Lee and Dustin go over. Because
Yes.
Trench, tattooed baseball freak, we've never seen him work. Parker Boudreaux was a WWE reject that I think AEW has done a poor job with. They first put him with Sonny Kist and that whole faction. What was that called?
I don't know. I just came across something absolutely astounding on Twitter though. 35 minutes ago a video came out. It's the Latino girl who does the backstage stuff. Can't think of her name for the life of me. And she's talking with your boy Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
And the words out of Eddie's mouth, I quit AEW. And he walked out the door.
What Twitter was it on? Was it AEW Twitter?
It's on like 3 different people's Twitters. I haven't seen it on AEW's Twitter. I'm going to check right now. Yes, it is.
If she's a
40 minutes ago, All Elite Wrestling tweeted it out.
okay,
Here, I'm going to attempt to play it and see if you can hear it. I'm hoping. Can you hear it?
not yet.
Okay. Well, then I'm probably not going to be able to play it without taking my headphones off and putting them over the speaker and then hoping. But we're not going to do that. But yeah, apparently Eddie Kingston has quit AEW.
I'm rolling through my Twitter feed real quick, and it hadn't popped up yet.
If you search at AEW, you should find it.
Oh, found it.
You asked for this time. We saw that it took at least
There it is.
separate you and Ortiz.
Yeah.
I quit AEW. Hey,
had his bags in packed, and away he goes.
Mhm. Yep. There you go. You heard it on the Kicking Out podcast first. We are so changing subjects. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh man, I love Eddie Kingston too. I mean, he just beat Jay White in the Battle at the Valley for the New Japan Strong show, and the loser leaves New Japan, right? He beat Jay White, which was, I mean, I don't know if you watched the match. I watched the match. It was different. It was a different match than we normally seen. I felt like it was watching a 1992 New Japan match. Okay. Which we don't see nowadays. But I feel like that's right up Eddie's alley. So he beat Jay White. Jay White has to leave New Japan, right?
Yes.
So Eddie's still going to be in New Japan. And then he made a comment early in the week that he ruffled some feathers in AEW. So I feel like it's work. I really do.
Oh, probably, but
with Santana's out, hurt with a knee.
till further notice.
Him and Ortiz got into it. But I think on the real life side, him and Santana had a falling out, correct?
Yes.
So,
and that's kind of what led to Santana and Ortiz having that scuff back and forth, is because Ortiz was taking Eddie's side.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Eddie maybe Eddie's taking a vacation.
Yes.
Maybe he's going down to the Dominican, going to stay at the Sandals, have a couple cocktails and some chicken tacos, and life's going to be good for old Eddie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, let's get to the main event. Our third member of our team is texting me because apparently he's getting impatient that we haven't moved on to our predictions.
You know
yet.
what? That
Rabbit
guy,
hole.
How can you get impatient when you're sitting on a beach in Hawaii?
Probably because the missus is going, how much longer until you text them so we can go to bed?
Yeah.
So the weirdness that was this tag team casino battle royale. We go into a commercial break with the first two teams out there. We come back from commercial break, probably another 2 minutes before the first team comes out. We get a bunch of teams out within, a couple minutes here.
Was it every 60 seconds? All of a sudden they were sending
It was.
out? And then towards the end it was like it's been
another 5 minutes before the best friends came out, and then another minute or two before Butcher and Blade came out. But came down to Orange Cassidy, Danhausen, Butcher, and Blade. And I'm going to say it. I'll probably get heat for it. But if you watch this match like I did, you saw the same thing. Butcher and Blade threw themselves out because Danhausen was a little slow to get behind him.
It was a force field.
Oh, okay.
Like when Danhausen starts moving, it just pushes people.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. Fine. So it is now officially set. The Guns versus the Acclaimed versus what's now being called Triple J and the Best Friends in a fatal 4-way tag team elimination chamber style.
It's not really the Best Friends because it's not Trenton Beretta. It's Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. It's Orange. It's Orangehausen. It's Orangehausen.
Whatever Hausen.
It's Orangehausen.
Yes. But they're still called the Best Friends because the Best Friends is a faction. It's not just Chuck and Trent anymore.
Yeah. You know what? What a great Because I had one when I was in school. What a great thing. Like Danhausen made a comment, you have enough room for more championship in that backpack. It's an old JanSport backpack. That thing
Yes.
classic.
Yeah.
Did you have a JanSport backpack?
I think everybody had one at
think
least.
everybody- Yeah. I mean, those things
were
are just
great.
yeah. They're still rocking, obviously. The one that he has a little weather to it, so it's even better, but
I think that's the bags that we used growing up because it looks, it's got the brown leather, faux
On the
leather,
bottom.
whatever on the
Yeah.
bottom. And that was the bag everybody wanted when you were a kid.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
The match itself was entertaining. I loved Aussie Open in the match. I loved Death Triangle in the match, or Lucha Bros, I guess we
Lucha
call them
Bros.
that, right? Yeah, sorry. I loved Lucha Bros in the match. I think those guys are just stupid talented. I really do.
The Kingdom.
The Kingdom. I think the Kingdom was a little weak. I'm excited they were in the match. I think those guys are awesome. I think Matt Taven was a individual star in ROH, and I think he could be an individual star going forward. And I think Penta can be an individual star going forward. If Penta could be a little better on the mic, and I'm not being rude by saying because of the language barrier, but Penta could be. I mean, he was Impact champion.
Yeah.
So Penta could work with. I mean, can you imagine Penta and Daniel Bryanson?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That'd be great.
I'm in that one. Anyways,
yes.
Moving fast forward. I thought this was a great tag team battle royal, even though battle royals can get sloppy and lazy booking can happen. I thought it was great to a point. So, and then obviously the finish. I'll let you take it home on the finish.
I just did.
I know.
Danhausen comes from behind to throw out Butcher and Blade. Orange Cassidy and Danhausen secure their spot in the match. After the match, Triple J and the Guns appear as they beat down the baby faces until the Acclaim makes the save.
Yeah, it's a good way to end the show. Or, sorry,
that
not
segment.
In the segment, yeah, not end the show. Which we
Yeah.
thought was the main event, and then all of a sudden we had like 6 minutes left, I think.
Right around 10 minutes, right around 6
Was
to
it?
10 minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go to commercial break and we come back with Renee Paquette again. Welcome out Danielson. And she goes to show a post from 2014 from MJF. MJF comes out. Danielson does not allow him to talk. I really like this. He says, I've been listening to why he hates me for weeks and he thinks he deserves all the things, but MJF has done nothing to earn them as he has taken every shortcut that he can to be a champion. He doesn't think that MJF has fought for the title, and if there's one thing he deserves, it was his fiance leaving him. He reminds him that pinning shoulders to mats and banging rats is what MJF has said, and he wouldn't want his daughter to marry someone like that. He has fought for everything through concussions, shoulder injuries, the authority, which I thought was cool, and retirement. He left a job that would have paid him for the rest of his life because he wanted to fight. He says he has talked about fighting for his dreams, and his new dream is to become the AEW World Champion, and he's willing to fight for it. So this Sunday, MJF best be ready to fight with everything he has for a full 60 minutes. And if he doesn't, then he is going to get his ship. Take it away from here.
It was a little bleeped.
He's going to get his effing head kicked in.
Yeah.
That's how you end the show.
We read the lips, but TBS was on the censor button.
Oh, they didn't even just stop after the bomb. The rest of anything he had to say was gone.
So I feel like they had a little heads up that he was going to say that, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Love the intensity from him. Thought it was great. And I love the reaction from MJF. Like he was shocked, like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. No, I thought they played it well.
They did. They did.
You know, this is a big time main event coming. Is it Sunday, right? Yeah,
Sunday.
not Saturday. I get them confused when they have them on Saturdays and Sundays, but we have them on Sundays.
It
So
threw me off. I literally had been saying that the 5th was Saturday for like 3 weeks. And somebody corrected me. They're like, no, that's Sunday, dude.
yeah. So we're having a traditional Sunday pay-per-view. 8 matches on the card.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be a 4-hour pay-per-view, I'm guessing, right?
A 10-hour pay-per-view is 4 hours, so or a 10-match pay-per-view, excuse me, 10-hour pay-per-view. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so short and I wouldn't say short and sweet, but
No.
It's more in line. So yeah,
I say probably 3 hours since it's a Sunday night.
Yeah. So thought it was well done by those two guys tonight. They've done a really, really good job building the storyline. So, yeah.
Yes, I look forward to it. All right. So before we get to our predictions, let's talk about Wrestler of the Night, Shep.
Man, there's so many options tonight.
There are. We saw like 3/4 of the roster tonight for the first time in, ever.
Yeah, and I mean, I was really close to picking Big Bill. Really was. Not really.
All right.
That's a bunch of shit for me.
You were gonna pick Stokely, weren't you?
Yeah. Powerhouse Hobbs.
All right. I'm all for that one. I like that one.
And I was almost a Sammy Guevara one just because of his high spot. And it pains me to even think I could pick Sammy, but man, he took some chances in that match. But
yeah,
I thought Powerhouse, him and Takeshita just doing those lariats back and forth, just trying to knock each other over. Yeah. Powerhouse Hobbs, wrestler of the night.
All right. Well, I'm going Pockets, Orange Cassidy. Hey, he put on 2 great matches tonight. If you think about it.
1.5.
All right. Both matches were about 3/4 of a good match saved by Danhausen.
There you go.
So we'll split it. We'll call it Orangehausen's my wrestler of the night.
Yes. Orangehausen. What a great tag team. What a great tag team. I hope they win the tag. I hope they win the titles.
Orangehausen versus Naturally Limitless.
I picked him in my pool, just so you know.
All right. Well, I guess I got to get your rating. That's what it's called. Rating.
My rating, I had a really good rating going on tonight until the women's match. And I hope people don't judge me and give me hate and heat because of it. But I mean, I was like mid-7s, and then that happened. I'm 6.9 tonight.
All right. Well, I am a little higher than you. I'm 7.3.
You always are.
Yeah, normally. I always like to be a little higher than you.
If we had a better women's segment tonight, I'm mid-7s.
Probably, sure. Yeah, 7.5.
Mid-7s, upper 7s. Other than that, I think I text you and Tanner maybe an hour into the show. Like, I know the old timers would not like this show, but I'm freaking entertained right now. Like, this is great. So
it was good stuff tonight.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, without further ado, let's get into our predictions for Revolution, shall we?
Is that your prediction right there on the screen?
Yes, it is. And for those that can't see it, it clearly says Tanner sucks.
Oh, I can see it.
um, I have his predictions.
Are you saying that because he's sitting on the beach drinking a Mai Tai right now?
I'm saying that because, I'm the tweener of the group here. You're the baby face, he's the heel, I'm the tweener, so I get to be a jerk.
You know what? I appreciate that. I am the baby face of this group, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Everybody, the Canadians love Shep.
The Canadians love them some Shep.
They
We're
do.
not going down that rabbit hole right now, Shep. No. No.
Oh, I love me some Canadians. Crazy sons of butt.
We're gonna get into our predictions for Revolution. So
I'm
all
ready.
right. All right, let's do this. You have the same order I do, so we're gonna go right down the list, starting with MJF versus Bryan Danielson.
You want me to go first?
We'll give Tanner's first.
Okay.
The whole time. Tanner. Hey, I almost thought about not reading them. Oops, sorry, didn't get your text. You're not in this. You must forfeit the title because you're in Hawaii. No, he went with MJF and he went for 8 points.
Whoa.
Yeah, he is confident.
I went MJF 5.
I went MJF 6.
Okay. I don't think there's anything wrong there.
No. Let's get this fatal 4-way tag team elimination chamber style battle royal tornado tag, whatever we're calling it, out of the way. The Guns, the Acclaimed, Triple J, the Best Friends. Tanner went with the Guns for 2.
I went Guns for 6.
Wow. I went Guns for 1.
Okay. That's all right.
I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this one. So, up next, we've got John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page. And Tanner went Hangman for 3.
Okay. I went Hangman for 4.
I went Hangman for 2.
Looking on that match, Moxley's up what? Up 2-1, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're in a Moxley style match where there's going to be a lot of blood.
Yeah.
I mean, we could tell that from the promo tonight. I feel like Moxley's going to do business, and they're going to bloody the heck out of each other. They're going to do a bunch of stupid stuff, and he's going to put Hangman over. And he talks about how good of a person Hangman is, how good of a dad he is. I love that part. I love that realism in this promo. So that's what made me think that he's going to put Hangman over in a Mox-style match.
Well, and let's not forget, Mox still has his vacation coming that he hasn't taken yet because he's had to carry the company on his back every time he goes to.
Yeah, thanks to CM Punk.
So now's a chance that he can go do that, and you can write him off television in style.
There you go.
Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the TNT Championship. Tanner went Wardlow for 6.
Woo! I went Wardlow for 3.
I went Wardlow for 4.
So far, we've all picked the same winners. Just
This is going to come down to confidence points, and somebody somewhere, unless there's one match that might define a champion, and we'll get to that in a little bit. At least based off of my picks and his. Up next, we got Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks. Tanner's got Starks for 5.
I got Starks for 8.
Wow. I got Starks for 3.
That could be one of them right there.
Well, up next we've got Jamie Hayter, Soraya, whatever, Paige, and Ruby Soho. And Tanner went Hayter for 4.
Oh, you know what? It always comes down to these women's matches.
It does.
I got Ruby Soho for 2.
I went Hayter for 7.
Ooh, what? Oh my.
I don't think it's time we strip Hayter of it yet.
What Tanner have? Hater for what?
For 4.
I went Ruby for 2. Good
Yeah.
Lord, why is it always got to come down to
The women's matches? I think it might come down to the trios match too. We got the Elite taking on the House of Black, and Tanner went with the Elite for 1.
I went House of Black for 1.
I went House of Black for 5. So that could decide who's champion. The trios match could take everything.
Yeah.
If they open with the trios match, we could have new champion at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we open with the trios and House of Black picks this up, I'm automatically up 5-1-1.
Who Tanner went with who?
The Elite. Or so no, I'd be up 5-1-0.
Oh, Elite.
He went Elite.
And I went House of Black for 1.
Yes. So if House of Black
Oh.
takes it, the belt's coming back to Fulton County one way or the other.
Easy.
So let's go House of Black.
Yeah. There's a lot of tangibles in here, Paul.
Well, true, but you know, everything else we agree on apart from that. And the final match on the card, not necessarily in this order, Jack Perry versus Christian Cage.
I had Perry for 7.
I had Perry for 8, and Tanner had Perry for 7.
There you go.
So yeah, it'll it's gonna be an interesting pay-per-view. We'll say that much.
Man, it's gonna be tight.
It is. It's gonna come down to 1 or 2 matches.
It's gonna come down to the women's match and
The trios.
trios match. It really is.
That's the only thing that has differences.
I don't know.
Because if Ruby picks it up, if Ruby picks up the victory, you knock Tanner and I out. I got Hayter for 7. So I mean that's a pretty big advantage for you.
I'm looking here though. I got the Ass Boys for 6, and you guys are 2-1, so that helps a little bit.
Yeah. We'll see.
Oh well. Hopefully Tanner has to deliver that belt to Fulton County, Indiana.
Oh, I think he will. It's just which location will he be delivering it to?
Hopefully it's on Ferndale Drive and not 9th Street, right?
No, it'll be 9th Street.
Oh. Let's go Ferndale Drive.
Well, see, here's the thing. You could have said, fine, I'm okay with 9th Street because you have a business on 9th Street.
It's a good point. It's a good point, Paul.
I'm trying to help you out here. As long as it's not 8th Street, Shep doesn't care. I want it to be 8th Street.
Window on 8th Street now.
Yeah. It's coming home. Anyway, we're an hour and 15 minutes into this ship. So I think
that's pretty. I think that's pretty good. We did
it's pretty average. Yeah.
we did a show review and predictions, and only went down one rabbit hole.
2.
For an hour and 15 minutes. We did 2.
We did 2. You went 23 minutes in, and then we went down Kingston.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's a nut job, so
I wouldn't expect anything. If Kingston was going to quit, that's how he was going to do it.
yeah, but if I feel like he wouldn't do it on AEW social media. Like, if he's gonna quit, he's gonna go
Blast
to
it on
business
Twitter.
for himself. So, yeah. How about real quick? Let's go back 2 weeks. We didn't get to talk last week. I was traveling. Tanner was traveling.
I don't travel.
You don't travel. You're scared of heights. We get it.
I'm not scared of heights. I can fly. I've flown a plane before.
Wow.
You want to fly with me? It's fun.
I'm sure you get on a ladder in the middle of an FWF ring and you're going to get scared and fall over. But
ouch. You're supposed to be the baby face here, Shep. Damn.
Anyways, what I'm getting at is, damn it, Paul, what the hell was I talking about?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Oh, no.
Last
Battle
week.
in the Valley. New Japan.
Yes.
Mercedes Moné,
Yeah. Picks up the victory.
a.k.a. Sasha Banks, is the New Japan Women's Champion.
Congratulations to her. Still not a big fan, but hey, congratulations to her.
Did you watch the match?
I did not. I watched some highlights, and that was about it.
It was an okay match. Did you see who was in attendance?
Yeah. CM Punk was there.
Bailey was there.
Bailey was there. Well, there were a lot of people there that you wouldn't expect to be there.
Lars from Metallica was there.
Oh, I'm not a Lars fan. Sorry.
I was not a big Metallica fan when they kicked me off of Napster back in the day. Assholes.
Oh man, Napster. See, there's a rabbit hole for you.
You know what? Oh man, I remember coming home from school and downloading a bunch of kick-ass music, and all of a sudden I was blocked because I had a bunch of Metallica mixes on there. And old Lars from Metallica said, "It's not fair." You know what? You're making millions of dollars, you little son of a buck. Kick me off of Napster, you bitch. Whatever.
Oh, Shep.
Anyways, no,
yes.
the Japan show was
It
from the
good.
Valley. It was a good show.
Yes,
It
everything
really
I've seen said it was really good.
It was. It was a different match between Jay White and Kingston. It really was. It was slower than I thought. Eddie worked an old school match, which Eddie going over, we all thought Tanner sucks. Are you saying that because he's in the beaches in Hawaii right now? Is that what it is?
No, it's because he sucks.
Oh, okay.
He runs from fights. See, he couldn't even show up tonight to, truly make his predictions. He had to text them in.
Do you think he's got Wi-Fi in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a brand new laptop. He could have packed that stuff up and taken it with him.
Nah, man. I won't say that. That's mean. Maybe
August 5th is coming quick.
He's preoccupied.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Cake testing again?
Yes, he's the wow, Paul. No. Yeah, he's eating a lot of cake, that's for sure. Oh God, I hope he is. Bless his heart. Yeah, August 5th. August 5th is his wedding. So, like 3 days before that, we'll have a podcast, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I hope he's here at least. You and I will be.
maybe we should go live from the wedding. Can we do that?
You know what? I really, really tried. We were gonna do a mock wedding on the first federal program the day before, and he laughed at me.
Well, we could. I think we should. I think we should do a live podcast on Saturday.
KOP live from the wedding.
Yeah,
We'll just stream it.
Hopefully, it's open bar, right?
I don't know. I just got to save the date. That's all I have.
Well, I know I got to
He
save the
keeps
date
everything
too.
on the wraps. Apart from it's a really nice location and it's beautiful and it's in some remote little hick town that nobody's ever heard of.
Okay, so do we need to bring our own tequila? Or do we need to bring our own vodka? I mean, what we gotta bring, Tanner?
Shep's rolling with both, so be prepared.
Yeah. By the way, I feel like this tequila from the Rock is some commercialized shit tequila. Reason I'm saying this is the tequila I had before, and I got it through a friend or whatever.
Yeah.
It was way better than this stuff. And the price is completely different. Rock's getting probably $15 more a bottle than the tequila I bought beforehand. And the tequila I want is back ordered. They won't ship it to me. You can't get it in our little town of Rochester. So you get seriously, it's like Dwayne Johnson signs it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Stamps it, yeah.
Right there.
Stamps it, yeah.
It's just okay. It's not great. It's just okay.
Just be prepared because eventually we both know Dax is going to release his own.
Ooh.
And you're going to be first in line to buy it. No matter, it doesn't matter if they only sell it, 5,000 miles from your home. You're going to be flying out there, standing in line, waiting.
Yes. Me and Dax. Dax is me boy. Now, the guy that does this podcast, you listen to this podcast?
Yes.
Aaron Kuhn? What's his name?
Kuhn. Matt Kuhn.
Matt Kuhn. Aaron Kuhn, Matt Kuhn. Same thing, right?
Sure.
Aaron Kuhn is actually a caddy on the professional golf tour, but that's another story. Matt Kuhn, I think Matt Kuhn is I like Matt Kuhn. Okay. Let's take Matt Kuhn out of the situation. Let's put Shep in there. Could you imagine the interview I could have with Dax?
By the end of the interview, you're going to be going,
No. But I'm just going to ask him the questions that we all want to hear. Like, hey,
what's your favorite tequila?
Well, we're going to talk a lot about tequila. We're going to talk a lot about, Vince, a lot about TK. We're going to compare them. We're going to talk about trips. We all love trips, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We still go down rabbit holes.
Yes. Every time I go to take a breath to pull us out of the rabbit hole, you just keep going. So I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Yes.
We don't have an explicit rating for tonight's show, so we're good.
Yeah, no. I feel like it was really good tonight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Coming up on next week's podcast, we'll be joined by Big Bill and Stokely Hathaway.
You really want to see some F-words? No. You know what? I will proudly bow out to let those jackalopes.
Tanner will run the podcast with those two.
Okay, yeah. That's You know what? Those two were, Stokely and Tanner remind me a lot of each other. I mean, they're about 4'6", 125 pounds. They're Stokely and Tanner are about the same people.
Stokely, Tanner, and Knox walk into a bar. They have one pair of pants between the three of them.
Now, wait a minute. What'd you say? Stokely?
Tanner. And Knox. Rick Knox.
Oh, I thought you said Mox.
No, Knox.
Oh, my God.
Your favorite ref.
The belt's going to be what, size 24?
And it'll fit all three of them?
Well, yeah, it'll fit all three of them, but they're going to wear pants of size of 30.
Like I said, they all had one pair of pants between the three of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's dig ourselves out of a rabbit hole here as
right.
it's quickly approaching the next day. So with that, be sure to follow the Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to stop by the Kicking Out Podcast merch store and get yourself some cool KOP swag. KickingOutShop.com. Trying to give the wrong address. KickingOutShop.com. Get yourself some great merchandise, support a great podcast, and look great doing so. Be sure to follow Tanner on all social media at TannerLee92. Follow Austin Shepard at the Shep27, and be sure to follow myself at Paul Zartman921. Join us next week as we crown a new KOP predictions champion in Fulton County, whether it's Austin Shepard or myself. We shall see. It'll be myself, but trying to be nice to Shep here tonight. Yes, and FTR. Go buy an FTR shirt. There.
I'm going to win. Just like FTR. FTR should win, but I'm going to win.
Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.